morning. Oh, it's chilly as a witch's titty. But you know what? We have a witch and she has both her titties and she's not cold, so you have no excuse. There she is, the great Leigh-Ann.
1, 2, check.
And not so cold.
No, not so cold, but what was it? Saturday was freezing.
This morning, Leigh-Ann and I were both complaining about how we woke up early and everything, but it seems like there's some kind of little demon that's stealing time this morning. So be warned, however your day is planned, you're going to run out of time for everything.
Yeah. I woke up 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
And that saved me 2 minutes. How does that work?
So I got into the car and I was like, how could it take me 5 minutes to get into the car? Because when I checked my phone the last time, I had 10 minutes. Now I've only got 5, but there's like 5 that's unaccounted for.
That's terrible. And
weird.
As I'm changing gears, I mean, first gear, it's 48 minutes past, and second gear, it's 50 minutes past.
Do you think there's a conspiracy that they're playing with the clocks?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, something's going on. All right. Anyway, I also reminded Leigh-Ann that if she's feeling a bit uneasy today, then that's probably because 110 years ago today, it was the second day of fighting in World War I.
I knew it. That's exactly what set me off this morning.
Those are the things that she worries about.
Got out of bed on the wrong side.
And you were like, I knew it. I knew there was something to do with the second day of fighting in World.
You could feel it in my bones.
Right. How was your weekend? Anything fun?
Yeah, so much fun. Just spent it at the hospital all weekend. You know, this is what happens when you get to this age. And
no, I'm your age.
Well, maybe your parents will live longer.
Well, I mean, thanks for that.
No, it's coming. It's coming. And then, you know, they show much gratitude. I'm so grateful for my children that, you know, they helped me through things. And that's exactly why I didn't have children.
Oh, so you didn't have to make them feel grateful?
No, so that I don't put them through what we're going through right now. You know, one day we'll have a social life when we're 50, maybe.
Jesus. The whole weekend.
Yeah, no, the whole weekend. Look, we're talking just to get the serious shit out the way.
Yeah.
So my dad is on something called ECMO. You've heard it on Grey's Anatomy or the
No, tell me what that is.
It's a machine that lives next to your bed that takes over your heart. So everything now runs through bloodied pipes into this machine.
Oh my God.
So that takes over your heart. In turn, he's also going through kidney failure. So he's on dialysis.
Oh my, it's another machine.
So he has another machine that's running his kidneys.
Basically, you're going to visit the machines.
This room is filled with machines and racks of medication. He has going into his neck 8 different medications and wires.
Oh, this is not a way to live.
Well, this is what he says. And, you know, you've got to help the patient push through it. He's like, I just, you know, cut the cords. But what your responsibility is to help him get through this. And the thing is that the nursing sister was telling me something interesting. Out of the whole ward, he's the only one who's wailing in pain.
Oh my God.
And the reason is because they can't give him too much pain medication.
Yeah.
Because in that case, they'd have to intubate, and they're trying to avoid that.
Oh.
So the discomfort from the machines, his brain is misinterpreting as pain because he's a little too aware of what's going on. You know, so yeah, there's a lot of shouting and giving instructions and pain and a lot of things that I won't even bring up.
But what is this thing that you mentioned about like monitoring noise?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's like an ear. There's like a thing
in the ward
that monitors all the noise.
Yeah. So at the nursing station, I've actually
you could use that in this office.
Yeah. I want to use it in many places. Can you imagine? But James, I have sent a picture. So this ear is plugged into the wall, and it has a green light that makes the shape of an ear.
Okay.
And that means that the sound levels are fine.
Oh, so it actually lights up in different colors if it isn't fine.
Then the center part of the ear is orange. and that lights up if it's now getting too noisy.
Sure.
And then there's a red dot in the middle when it's like the
Yeah.
delay.
All right. This is outrageous. I mean, I really think of a lot of places we could use that. Can
There
you
it
imagine?
is.
Wow. It's got an air. Look at that.
So I've blanked out all the rest of the stuff so
Yeah.
that I don't end up being
In trouble.
in muddy water. But there on the right, you see a poster with the numbers on it.
Right.
And that shows you the different noise levels.
But it gives you no description next to it of,
It does. I've just blurred them out.
oh, okay.
Um,
So what does it say at the red? Does it say Bedile?
not literally, but I can read some of them to you.
Does it say this is unacceptable, you loud fuckers?
I have to take my glasses
See,
off.
I mean, people would listen if you added a bit of swearing to it. Don't you think?
Number one is whisper's voice, whispering. So only the person you are talking to can hear.
I love a whispering.
2 is a low talking voice.
Yeah.
Communicating at a low volume when your peers can hear you clearly and
Right.
without causing disruption to the patient's resting and recovery time.
Right.
3 is the orange. That's your talking voice. Talking to your team in a conversational like voice. Number 4 is your outside voice.
Oh boy. Okay.
Presenting to an audience where everyone can hear. And number 5 is your screaming voice. Communicating in a loud and irate manner.
See what?
Never use this voice when you talk inside the hospital.
I just don't know how anyone needs to be told this stuff. I mean, the patient's different story. You know, if they're in pain and blah, 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 I can understand them making a noise.
Yeah, my dad's made it
Cool.
light up red.
But the fact that everyone else in there needs to be told about your inside and outside voice, again, like who raised these people? Fucking wolves?
I don't understand.
Like you're in a hospital. Imagine me walking into a hospital going, la, 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 la. Hi, everybody. I'm waking people up and making them nervous. And it's just, what are you? A complete savage that you don't know that you haven't figured out that you have an outside voice and inside. Why are we talking to these people like children? You got a little inside voice. And when you use your inside voice, it's quiet. And when you use your loud outside voice, that's for many people to hear. Like when you're making a speech or doing a big poo. Really? I mean, come on. What's wrong with people? Ugh.
Yeah, and I mean, they must have had, I don't know, 2 days worth of teaching on this, surely, like a conference.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Training session.
I heard a disturbing and horrifying thing over the weekend. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she said that there is this new trend going on. There are 2 things I want to talk about on social media that I'm irritated by this morning. The one is really easy for me to just rant about and then for everybody to kind of hop on board with. Or if you disagree, you think it's great, then please tell me. But this one is weird, and I haven't seen it myself. Maybe I'm just following the wrong people. But there's this trend that's going on at the moment of women who are proud of their body hair. So they're like showing off their gross, hairy armpits and bits of like minge sideburn.
Yeah, it's been a time coming. I mean, there was Miley Cyrus who famously grew her underarm hair and then dyed it pink, and she was, all
Talk
over
about
the place.
boh.
No, it's not.
You know what? There are not a lot of rules in society. Let's just admit, like these days, you don't have to conform to, like the dress codes of the 1912s.
And choose between 3 different hairstyles.
And you don't have to address people by formal forms of address anymore. And you don't have to walk on a particular side of the road if you are going in a certain direction. I mean, these are things that people used to worry about, right? There are less rules than ever. Like you can go out into the world and you can ask people to choose your pronouns for you. And maybe most of them will conform. I mean, it's an amazing thing to be alive now and be able to break all the rules. And trust me, I'm not a big fan of rules, so I get it. Some things, though, is it so hard? Do you not think that there's a reason? Are you so clever and brilliant and earth-shattering and spectacularly different to every other human that's ever come that you're going to turn the social order on its head? It's up to you. It's you. You are what we've been waiting for, to grow your underarm hairs as a feminine, lovely, wonderful, amazing creature that gets to live in 2024. You're going to ruin it all by inverting the whole social order by growing armpit hair and dyeing it blue. Do we need this? Do we need this? Is there anyone on earth who's been, they've just been rallying for this for a long time? Like, if we just had more ass hairs in the world, if we just had more ball hairs, just more cunt hairs, just more underarm hairs, let's just have some more of that. Who is asking for this? Guys, we got to, we've passed the point of no return. We don't need women with lots of body hair. This is not something that anyone's been clamoring for. Am I right?
The thing is, you can have it.
Oh.
But why show it off? I am not going to bother shaving my legs in winter. What's happening? Is that inside my head?
Rap music just started. Cameron's Oh Boy just started playing. I think
Cameron feels he needs to be heard.
Okay, maybe it is the end of the world. Armpit hairs and my phone just doing what it wants, losing time this morning. Just be careful out there, all right? Just start your day with a little trepidation. Be a little more cautious than usual.
Go slowly, No, I mean, I'm not going to shave my legs in winter. There's just no way.
So you're like a Yeti?
But you won't know.
You're like a Sasquatch?
No one will know.
Oh, because you'll wear long pants. And
I'm wearing stockings and long boots.
Well, don't show us in case a hair pops out.
But why make a statement and show it off, really?
Well, V-Rus is right. He's like, Gareth, you need to get off social media. It's consuming the show too much. All right. You know what? Maybe you're right. I don't usually do any social media over a weekend. So this is something that someone told me. So I didn't find it myself on social media. So, dude, I don't know how to avoid this because this came up in conversation. Not good. Winter leg hair keeps the pants up, says Bitcoin Butt.
Yeah, you could say so much for the crotch and stockings.
I don't know. It's just like there's some things that you think, oh, well, that's a cool idea. That's something new. People haven't done that before. What an exciting new direction for us to take fashion, for example. Right? And I'm cool with that. I'm not Mr. Buzzkill all the good ideas and we'll miss out on all creativity just because we have to keep things a certain way. I'm not that guy. But
you've also never,
but the hair,
like for instance, tattoos or anything permanent. You've never been interested in anything.
But
like that.
I've never said to other people,
or a grill.
I've never said to people,
jewelry.
Yeah, like I'm gonna come in with a grill one morning. Like I don't mind if other people do these things. I don't. I haven't been like super judgy about it. I don't mind tattoos. I just don't want any for me. It's fine.
Okay, so then you don't mind underarm hair, but you don't.
I don't want to see it. Like if I see
tattoos.
Okay, so if you're a woman, no, here's the problem. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
Is it a woman thing?
No, in this case, it probably is actually, and I'll say that unashamedly. It's like, yeah, you shouldn't have hairy armpits as a woman. It's just revolting. And I'll say, if I see you and you do the Heil Hitler, let's say,
just for instance, about your everyday.
You might walk into my office and instead of going, good morning, you go, Heil Hitler. And I go,
what's that?
And I'm completely oblivious to the Heil Hitler. But instead, I'm like, what's wrong with you? They're like, why? Can't I greet you like that? I'm German. I go, no, it's the armpit hair.
Well, I'm also German.
Also because I'm German. Why are you not like Germans so much? Do you still hate us? Is there still such hate from the war?
It's not a woman thing. It's a German thing.
It's a German thing. Listen, please, girls, can we just all just have a meeting? Have a meeting and all just say, no, we're not going to do this anymore. This is not a trend we want.
Yeah. There are different reasons for doing these things. You're going to be so grossed out if I had to tell you. For instance, what if you have skin tags and you don't want to shave?
Skin tags. It's like a little piece of skin that's just hanging there.
These things happen when you get older.
Under your arm.
Yes, under your arm, under your boobs.
Go to the doctor and have it burnt away.
You can do that. But they do return.
Have it extirpated.
Oh, you get these little, I would never try it, but I've seen online, you get these little shearing things that you can cut off your skin tags with. Oh.
But I mean, you know what? There are bearded women and women with mustaches, and they've been on circus,
Yeah. But also,
lineups for years. I understand that there are freaks among us But I reserve the right to call them that and to say, ew, when I see it. I'm not going to be nice about that stuff. That's where I draw the line. It's like you have a whole bunch of, if you have sideburns as a girl, and you're wearing a bikini and then I have to see your sideburns, and I know that's not going to happen in winter.
I don't know how many girls' sideburns you think you're seeing.
Listen, I'm just warning you in advance, all right? I need people to understand this is a problem. We can't do this.
I'm so glad I'm not naked right now. My goodness.
Skin tags. Is that
the skin tags and
is that
all
for
the hair.
whores to put their price on? That's the best thing I've heard.
I have many price
that's
tags.
so great. It's all attention seeking, says Louis. All the likes and comments on social media isn't enough anymore. Now they need to do all these crazy things just for attention. I think that's exactly right. I think that's a big part of it. A lot of people talking about politics first thing this morning, so let's just do it.
Okay, our politics.
Yeah, the new cabinet was announced last night by Cyril. By the way, why is this is irritating thing that a whole bunch of the anchors on the news channels are doing now? They have to say Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. Like, we don't know that's his other name, okay? But it's like there are a bunch of, it must be particularly on ENCA. Eventually I got so annoyed I just switched it off. First of all,
since when did it change?
I don't know, but they always go Matamela, like they know something that no one else does. Like, guys, he's been our president for a while now. We know this. It's not interesting or clever. What are you trying to fill airtime? Someone needs to take those people in hand. Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa, and we're like, just Cyril Ramaphosa is fine. Or,
he's happy with that.
I mean, like, just short. Why are you filling up the time where most of us are on a Sunday night? You really think, oh yeah, I need more politics in my. I really want to hear more politics
syllables and more
on a
syllables.
Sunday night. You fucking idiots! Just stop it, all right? Stop it. We're here for the cabinet announcement. Frankly, if you just put it on the screen and let us doze off, you'd be getting higher ratings.
If you said nothing and we just read the words, we'd be fine.
Oh, I'm so. Anyway, they announced the cabinet. If he pitches up late again, this guy.
Look, he is busy.
I don't care. He has no respect for the rest of this country. He doesn't care about us at all. And I know everybody was super excited about the government of national unity. You know, I mean, like, people I know and respect and care about were like excited about this. I'm like, what, you're excited about people being given their job descriptions by HR? What are you, 5?
This is true.
Are you high? What's your story? Is this what gives you excitement in your life? You need to get out more. So anyway, they announced this thing. So let's start off with president, deputy president. Obviously, the president's the one on screen. Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa. Right. Anyway, so he goes on, and they've got Paul Mashatile. Everybody knew that was going to happen. And then the first minister there announces like agriculture, and everyone's like, if there's a change here, it's going to be like Pieter Groenewald, right?
Isn't it agriculture and something?
No, agriculture. Pieter, I'm preparing myself. I'm like, okay, yeah, Vryheidsfront Plus. That makes sense for agriculture.
Put the farmer there.
Right. What did they do? John Steenhuisen. Agriculture. I'm like, what, like a veggie garden?
Like a succulent collection.
Anyway, I mean, so that's where it started. By the end of it, and it wasn't even long, but it felt like an ordeal. And I suddenly realized again, we actually have, we shouldn't be spending this much time thinking about and talking about politicians at all. I know a lot of people in the comments are also excited about this, but guys, really, these people are not going to be a part of. Can you name who was Minister of Defense before they announced last night that it was going to be Angie Motshekga, the one who's so disastrous in basic education? By the way, well done to Siviwe Warube from the DA, who's our new basic education minister. But who was the Minister of Defense before this?
I don't know.
No, nobody. You see, because why? Doesn't affect you. I mean, apart from these pathetic people that are in the news media, no one else knows. And as long as they're doing their job, you don't have to know. And that's what I'm hoping will happen. For you, for me, the entire human race, is that we will forget all about government, that it will just run in the background like a machine, like those ones that are working on your dad.
Yeah.
They must just do their thing. They must go about their business with pipes and messages and screens and medications, and everything must just work. And then you carry on with your life and you worry about things that actually matter. Your health, your relationships, your business, being nice to people, that kind of stuff. We don't want to be filling our day with these boring people who are in politics who've just been given their jobs by the president, and everyone in the country's like on tenterhooks. Someone said to me on Saturday, what do you think's going to happen with the cabinet? I said, I don't know. And they were like, aren't you excited? I'm like, no. Why are you excited?
It's just a job.
That's
like
what you get for excited. That's how bad you're doom scrolling so much now that you're excited about the cabinet announcement. Let me tell you something. Joe Biden has dementia. He doesn't know whether he's a teapot or a hockey stick today. And he doesn't even get excited about his cabinet announcements.
No, not at all.
Okay, so and he's the president of the United States who has nuclear codes in a football near him at all times in case he wants to blow up the whole world. And if he's not worried about his cabinet announcements, you don't have to be either. Like, there's actual stuff we can care about. And let's do that.
Yeah. Well, we're going to do that. But now the blame game starts.
What?
It's going to be.
What?
Well, now you see load shedding, and what is the DA doing about it? And now you see, this is because of the government of national unity.
Please. Or is this on social media?
No, this is just in my head.
Oh, okay. Because you're not hearing this on the streets.
No.
You go out for a coffee today. Go somewhere nice. Do yourself a favor. You're going to lose all this time anyway that Leigh-Ann and I can't account for this morning. So there's some kind of time demon out there this morning that's going to steal your time.
Hungry time.
Do yourself a favor. Either before you go to work or at some point during the day where you get like 5 minutes to yourself, go somewhere nice for a coffee. If coffee's your thing, maybe tea. And just sit there for a couple of minutes and watch people and see what they're doing and see the expressions on their faces and try to imagine where they're from. Try to imagine if they're single or married, if they have kids. Try to imagine what they are, what their like wildest dream for today would be. And just spend 5 minutes outside of your own head and outside of social media, observing another human being or a couple of them, and enjoy savor that 5 minutes with your coffee or your tea, and realize that's life. And that's actually a way better way for us to all spend our time. Like, I know it sounds ridiculous, but you can have the most entertaining day of your life today. It doesn't have to involve someone standing up and doing comedy in front of you. You can just watch someone, and in your head, you can make up a story about how, secretly they have an enormous clitoris. and you could watch them as they walk and think, yeah, it's definitely that's getting in the way.
It's not their hips or like a stone in their shoe. It's an enormous clitoris.
And suddenly, like, you're enjoying your day. It's really cool. Like, being alive is awesome. And you don't know that the cabinet's going to make a difference in your life or not, but why worry about it? Let these politicians now actually get on it. For the last month, I hate to break it to you, but for the last month, we haven't really had a government. And?
Yeah, this is true.
Right? So let's just go on with our days. Fill it with things that make you happy. Do the cool shit.
People watch.
Yeah. Bitcoin Butch says, that's what I think of Big Mike when I see him. Balls and sausage. Big Mike, of course, Michelle Obama.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, I saw a great poll last week. It was like, if Biden steps down, who should take his place? A, Big Mike. B, Crooked Hillary. C, Gavin the Snake Newsom. And D, who was the other one? Kamala. Cackling Kamala. I can't even do it properly.
I'd take Big Mike over any of those.
I'd take Big Mike as well. I voted for Big Mike.
How did you?
In the poll.
Oh.
All right. So obsessive people playing with their phones. I watch people on the train here in New Zealand, and I can tell you, I'd rather read a book. Well, good for you, Raven. Yeah, do that. Read a book. There's some great books at the moment. I'm lucky enough that when they bring out new books, they send me some of them. And I'm actually stuck with too many books and too little time, which is a good problem to have, because it means I can always pick up one of them. And it can be the most exciting adventure I've ever been on. Leigh-Ann is correcting me, a different Leigh-Ann here.
Yeah.
Not you. You're not schizophrenic.
No.
She goes, Gareth, people are worrying about the cabinet ministers because they're interested to see where competence will be allocated. Of course, people are interested. Okay, let's just remember, and I hate to break it to the big DA fans out there. I'm not anti-DA, okay, because that's also, like, some people think it's cool to be anti-them. Just because they're from the Democratic Alliance doesn't mean they're not politicians, and it doesn't mean they're going to be fantastically competent, right? That is a hell of a supposition to make.
Mm-hmm.
You really think that maybe just because, I don't know, who's this guy who they hired some guy as like the deputy finance minister. He's from the DA. I don't know him. He might be amazing, right? But maybe Enoch Godongwana is better than him, and he's the minister already, and he has been for the last year. So, I mean, to pin your hopes on that, that's like saying, today I'm going to have a terrible day unless I win the lottery.
No,
That's like walking up to a stranger and guessing their phone number.
there's no use
Not
pinning
gonna happen.
hopes on it, but at least it's a little more interesting than it's been.
That's the point.
There are going to be people who have a time to shine, people we haven't heard of before.
but that's cool. Let's let it play out. You don't predict this stuff. And listen to people who have to say Cyril's second name every time they introduce him on TV. Oh, I don't know how anybody watches those channels. Like I told you, my DSTV was broken for like 6 months. I didn't miss it at all. I'm going to cancel it.
Yeah, it's interesting though how many media online are going the subscription route.
No, I mean, really, if these guys, South African news media, are going to expect us to subscribe for their crappy content, good luck to them. Going to be a lot of people who are going to be unemployed very soon in the media business. And good, about time.
Yeah, I haven't subscribed to anything yet. And yesterday, a man was desperately trying to sell me a newspaper.
Oh, yeah?
And I was actually tempted to buy the newspaper rather than have 15 different subscriptions.
Well, you know what I miss from newspapers? There's only one thing, because I'm happy to see them go. I miss the headline. Like, well, they dedicate like the whole front page to something really important. They're like, he's out. And you're like,
yesterday's
who?
was the one that caught my eye. Was something
Shit,
like,
I better
it's
find
done.
it. It's done. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, what? That excitement is cool.
Yeah.
You're like, who did they fire? What's happening? Oh my God, I've got to buy that and read it. Like, you don't get that from a website or from a Twitter feed.
No.
Like, you can't make the font so huge that it's like a headline. That's the only thing I miss.
Like 40 things you must do before you die. And now it's all just...
A couple of things here. So Snipe says, gee, did you withdraw from Revix? No, I've still got money in there. Sam says they're stuck with dementia, Joe. Shame, man. Can I just say quickly, because since we've stumbled onto politics, and then we'll get James in here with sport to break the hoodoo. But I've got to say I'm like really disturbed about one thing. I listen to a podcast sometimes called the All In Podcast, which has got two South Africans who've made it big in Silicon Valley. Really, really smart guy called David Sachs. And then there's a guy called Friedberg, who's also from here. I think they were both from Cape Town or maybe even Joburg, but really smart guys. And I like listening to them, even though I'm not a venture capitalist. It's fun to hear what they're up to because they think of the bigger picture. They're used to looking at a business and going, that's what we want to invest in. That's why it makes sense to invest in that business. Anyway, they were talking, and it put the alarm bells on for me in a big way. Because the guy who was, I think it was Sachs who was saying the biggest worry he has with this whole Biden being demented thing, which now is out in the open, right? You can see all the media people who've been lying to us for the last 3 years saying there's nothing wrong with Joe Biden. He's fine. He's okay. He's great.
Yeah, right.
And then suddenly when you can't hide it anymore because it's in a live debate that millions and millions of people have watched. Then suddenly they're trying to reclaim some cred, right? Because now their credibility is shattered.
Yeah.
Unless they suddenly say, oh my God, it's way worse than we thought. Meanwhile, we all know this has been going on for years. I've been saying it on this show for years. And everybody's like, it's a bit mean. Like, it's the president of the United States. Now, if he has the dementia that people like me have been saying for the longest time he's had, and that people in the mainstream media are now suddenly aware of, who has been running the government?
Yeah, what's been going on there?
We talk about conspiracies and we talk about election deniers and all of this kind of thing. is the biggest concern not that the person who's been in charge has been a complete patsy and that the government of the United States of America has been run by shadowy, unelected people
You don't know
for the
who they
past
are.
3 years? We don't know who these people are. They might be, graduate students from humanitarian courses at universities in fucking Delaware. You don't know who these people are. I don't know who they are. The American people who supposedly voted for this cadaver of a human being and in a
just didn't vote for Trump.
And in a landslide. No, they voted for Biden in numbers that even Barack Obama couldn't compete with. Who's actually running this thing? And doesn't it bother everyone on earth, and shouldn't it, that the world's number one superpower, the only justifiable superpower on the map at the moment, with other countries biting on their heels, is being run by people that nobody knows the names and faces of, that have been secretly deciding policy, that have been propping up this husk of a man to speak to us and convince us everything's fine. You know my meme with the dog in the kitchen with the fire? This is fine. It's not fine. This should be everybody's concern. And if you don't care about that, if you're more worried about Donald Trump denying the election on January the 6th, you have got your head up your backside.
But then what can be done? What should be happening?
They should actually call for a commission. First of all, Biden should be removed from office immediately because he's clearly not capable of running it now, and everybody agrees. So what's the point of keeping him in until the election? Second of all, they should go through that White House staff with a fine-tooth comb and say, right, this thing that was decided, that speech that was made, who put that in there? Who decided that should happen? Because it's not the president. And frankly, he's the boss of the executive. So if it wasn't him and his advisors are stepping in, just signing documents on his behalf or whatever, those people need to be fucking court-martialed.
Yeah.
I mean, they
should be identified.
They should have an absolute top-down analysis of who is making these decisions, who's in charge. This is unbelievable. It is a shadow government. It is a coup. This is like a conspiracy theorist's wet dream. And I can't believe people are more worried about, like, oh, shame, poor Joe, he's having a rough time, eh? Guys, there are countries to run here. Just put your empathy and compassion aside for a second and look at the fact that we're close to World War III. That could be a bigger problem, right? I don't want World War III. You know why? I like going outside.
Yeah, there's that.
I like going outside. And although in South Africa, especially in Gauteng, it looks like Chernobyl outside in the winter because it's so miserable and brown and yellow and gray and shit, I don't want it to actually be Chernobyl. I'd really like to not have a nuclear winter. Winter's bad enough. Nuclear winter, much, much worse. So I think it's perfectly reasonable for me to say, let's not have a war. That would be nice.
No, 100%.
Okay, let's get into some sport. Because I can go on this train. I can go down. I mean, really, like, you want to get serious about these things? This is it. Also, Biden's daughter knows what it's like to shower with a leather jacket. Oy, oy, oy. Biden's been dead for years now. He's just a hand puppet, says Raven. Dude, Obama's been running this shit. He's been making it very apparent lately. Well, if Obama is running this shit, then he's had essentially a third term and is aiming for a fourth, in which case he's breaking the law. And you know, we're going after Trump for Stormy Daniels, for paying off a porn star, and we've got someone who's running a shadow government? Who's more dangerous?
How's that tick of yours?
James, what's happening?
How's it? How you guys doing?
How's it? Listen, I'll tell you what, a lot of people were very, very, very upset on Saturday with the cricket, hey?
Yeah,
I don't watch this stuff, but I saw in the WhatsApp groups, I'm on the sports show WhatsApp group. I don't know
so
why.
many messages.
Do I need to be there?
No, probably not. Probably not. And I did see your messages come through while we were talking about the cricket, and I was wondering, does he actually even care?
No, I certainly. I was judging from the messages what was going on. I don't care at all. I couldn't name a single player in the Proteas team.
I don't think I could name many too, to be honest with you.
But I don't care that we've lost, but I know lots of people do. So tell us what happened.
Well, the wild thing, before I do get to it, is that I found it quite funny that leading up to this Cricket World Cup, there wasn't much buzz around the Proteas and us doing very much. And then all of a sudden on Saturday, everyone's Proteas sport.
Oh yeah,
I found that was quite interesting.
I think those are slacker fans, right? So those are the kind of people who they'll also just join in any trend that's on social media. So if everybody on social media starts eating Tide Pods, remember that was a thing once, then they'll do it too.
Tide Pods was wild.
Those people they reveal themselves all the time, and yet we have not yet banned them from devices.
That's so true. And it should, yeah. No, I agree. So yeah, we did end up losing that game. There was a point where South Africa needed 30 runs off 30 balls. That's how close it was. But India ended up walking away, winning by 7 runs there. So that happened. That's the end of the T20 cricket. That's India's second title win for the T20 Cricket World Cup.
Okay.
Then in the world of Formula One.
Are we just going to move on from it that quickly? Because
I mean, what else is there to add?
There are some other people here.
We haven't made it to
the cricket gave me a hernia, says Sam. A hernia.
Well, so there were actually people that were genuinely interested in it.
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah.
That means the Proteas are consistent. I mean, first T20 final.
I'll tell you who's our new Deputy Minister of Sport. Gayton McKenzie.
No, he's our new minister.
Is he Minister of Sport?
Yeah, he's the new Minister of Sport.
Okay, so if Gayton's the Minister of Sport, maybe he can like threaten them with a, you know how he says, I'm going to kick ass. He goes, I'm going to get into government. I'm going to kick ass. I'm like, okay, good.
I mean, I'm invested.
I was hoping for him to get police, but okay, sport. Get our sports teams
he was hoping for
there.
Police.
It's interesting you said that because I was speaking to someone last night as the announcements were being made, and I sent a message to someone saying Gayton's the Minister of Sport. What does that mean? And this person actually said it's good. Like he can bring the chaos for these teams. And
he posted a picture of him like in tracksuit pants with just his socks on, sitting on like the edge of a bed. It's like, you know, those scenes at the end of a porno. It's like, why are you posting that? But he is going to be entertaining. I mean, I'm glad he's in the cabinet. I really am. I think it's going to be fun, and I think he's the kind of guy he could add a lot of value in sport. Who knows? He's got a personality. He seems to know what it's about when winning comes into the equation. Most of our sports ministers are just not winners. They never have been. So maybe he can change that, because if we have a winner in place as a sports minister, then he will let that winning trickle down, and we might actually have something other than the Springboks or our swimmers bringing home some gold.
We've had some questionable sports ministers in the past.
Listen, if Gayton gets Bafana right, yes, then I mean we must give him the freedom of all the cities.
I will watch all of their games, I swear.
Okay.
So yeah, that happened for the Proteas this weekend. In the world of Formula One. Quite an interesting weekend at the Red Bull Ring. Max Verstappen was leading the race to take home another pole position, but it didn't go to plan. Him and his mate Lando Norris, they're actually real life.
They had a little
fisticuffs.
A little bit of exactly. But they're actually like real life friends. So everyone was invested in like what drama comes out of this, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Nothing huge out of it just yet.
Right.
George Russell did end up winning the Austrian Grand Prix, followed by Oscar Piastri and then Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. That's changed the standings of the drivers' standings. Leclerc has gone up now into second. Verstappen still topping the list there. Norris in third. In the world of football, huge shocker this weekend. Round of 16 started at the Euros. Italy, who are the current title holders, they've been knocked out by Switzerland. They lost 2-0. On Saturday, Germany played Denmark. They won 2-0. They're through to the next round. England played Slovakia last night, and boy, was that a game.
England, I saw even Piers Morgan getting super excited about this. That worried the hell out of me. I'm like, oh no.
I don't understand how a team can go from... You have the potential to be world-class superstar team vibes. And just absolutely no way. They've got so much talent on their bench and on the field, and young talent, which is obviously super, super important. But they barely squeaked through against a team like Slovakia in a Euro knockout game, which is very, very worrying.
Okay.
So yeah, that's England's whole issue. Football may or may not be coming home. I don't think it is. Spain also
It's coming home. God help us. I don't want to hear that ever again in my life. God.
Spain played Georgia last night. They won 4-1. That's the team I'm rooting for. They're playing Germany in the next round of the Euros. And then some exciting fixtures for the rest of the week. France take on Belgium today at 6:00. Portugal take on Slovenia. And then the Netherlands take on Romania tomorrow. So that's in the Euro recap. Then also this weekend, UFC 303 happened. Pereira beat Yuri Prohaska with quite a knockout, actually. Ben called it.
He did call that one.
Yeah. So good on him. That's Pereira's title defense for the second time there against the same guy. And then lastly, I'm bringing it back to America. I'm bringing it full circle, guys, because that's where you guys were just now. The NBA draft happened not so long ago. LeBron James' son got drafted in the second round. He was the 55th pick. It gets even wilder. Right. So now Bronny's going to be playing with his dad at the Lakers.
Yeah.
Okay. We love this for us, right? Not only that, but LeBron's best mate is apparently now the new head coach of the Lakers also. And they have a podcast together. So now it's all vibes at the LA Lakers.
Very nice. I see how excited you are about that. That makes me happy.
I mean, basketball.
We're so happy for you.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you. Good. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks,
That's
James.
about it for the sport.
All right,
Yeah.
push off.
Okay, I will. See you later.
Go on. That's enough from you. Got Dr. Hanan in a couple of minutes. He was also obviously... I messaged him over the weekend because I got a message from...
Oh, did you need help?
No, one of our
SOS.
One of our listeners sent me a thing like, can I please ask Dr. Hanan a question? So I just screenshotted it and sent it to him. And he's like, that's a good question. So I think he wants to deal with that this morning, which is always fun. And I got to point out this about people who are still all super excited about how diverse and amazing our cabinet is. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's lots of people who really like things to look pretty, whether they work
like
or not.
Instagram feed.
Yeah. And there are tons of ministers, tons.
Yeah.
We have way too many ministers. And what you've got to remember is not who's in what position, because actually in politics, it doesn't matter. I mean, Bladen Zimande is like Minister of Forestry or something. Oh no, Science and Technology. Bladen Zimande, an old communist, is Minister of Science and Technology.
Oh, it's going to be interesting.
So you're excited about that? Good for you. You know what the only effect of the cabinet is going to be on your life and your wallet? It's going to be how much it costs you. Each of these ministers costs a fortune. Then we sometimes have some of these departments with 2 deputy ministers. So everybody's going, well, at least there's one from the DA and one from the ANC. Or they go, hey, it's good that the DA haven't got this one. Good for you. It's going to cost you more, you dummy. That's all. It's just going to cost you money. So good luck. We'll see how it goes. I am not a government optimist. I am a South African optimist. I'm optimistic about the country. I'm optimistic about the people of this country. I'm not optimistic about politicians. I never have been. You can go back and listen to any show that we've ever done.
No, it's more about whether this person's going to do less or more damage, really.
That's it. It's like, when you hire construction people and you're like, well, they're either going to be 8 weeks late or 12 weeks late.
Yeah.
And you're hoping for 8 weeks late. That's it. I mean, if the president can't even be on time to tell us when it's, you just know you're not dealing with serious people here. That's all. So don't get too excited about politics. There are much better things to worry about. Let us talk to Dr. Hanan. I presume he's on the line. He is. Let's talk to him. He's the man we want to hear from today. And I've got this question from somebody. She wanted to remain anonymous, so I'm not going to out her this morning and ruin her reputation because it's like involving, family, and she's got things she wants to ask and all kinds of stuff. So I sent this to Hanan. Hey, Doc, how are you?
Hey, guys, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
James, sort that shit out. Here it is. A question from Dr. Hanan while James is messing around. How do you teach a teenager that feelings are unreliable and to be guided by how you feel is not the way to live your life? I mean,
because that's exactly what the doc says.
This is what you told us like just the other day. So she carries on though. She says, the bungee jumping example that you often give, she's clearly a fan, doesn't really resonate with younger people. So, so much of what young people feel about themselves is how they look. Maybe you've got some specifics in that respect. How do you get teenagers who live in an age of social media to come to terms with their appearance and learn to love themselves as they are? That's a good place to start our Monday morning. It's not just teenagers. I think all of us worry about how we look, even the people who say they don't care, right?
Right. You can hear me clearly now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So there are a couple of questions there, and they're all quite important and quite valid. First of all, we all in agreement that emotions are pathological liars. They don't always guide us in the right direction. Sometimes what feels right is completely wrong, and sometimes what feels wrong is completely right. And the reason why is because we gravitate towards familiarity. So our brain thinks that what is familiar is right, and what is unfamiliar is wrong. So naturally, that's why what could be good for us, which is the unfamiliar, feels terrible, and what is familiar that could be bad for us feels amazing. So we can't trust our feelings. We've got to trust other things. And what I always tell parents, especially when they communicate it to children, depending on the child's age, you want to obviously communicate that in a palatable way. But when we're talking about young children or teenagers, you don't obviously say to them, listen, your emotions are not important. Just move on. Because obviously, I mean, we live in a culture these days where emotions are way too important. It's like what you feel means everything, and it should mean everything to everybody. And I'm much more of a fan of working through the resolution. So instead of focusing on what you feel, let's talk about what you can do about it. So to a teenager, if you failed at something, let's not focus on the fact that you feel sad or disappointment or hurt or frustrated or you don't like yourself or whatever the emotion that might come up. Let's focus on how you can do better. If you had broken up with a girlfriend, let's not focus on the fact that you're hurt and disappointment and sad and angry at the world or at yourself. Let's focus on what can you learn from it and what could you do better. So it's like, when we're dealing with kids, if you think about it, I'll give you an analogy. If a child falls on the jungle gym, and the child said, I'm sad, the parent, the functional parent, is not going to spend the next hour and a half talking about the child's feelings. The functional parent will talk about, all right, well, let's just get back on. Let's just get back on, because the parent knows that within 30 seconds, the child will forget about the fact that they fell and start enjoying themselves again. The focus needs to be on the resolution, on the action that makes the lesson make you better. In other words, the fact that you failed is okay. That's just data. That is just information. The fact that you fell, the fact that you broke up, the fact that you didn't make it, the fact that you didn't realize whatever it is that you wanted to is just information that makes you better. So to answer the question, how do you deal with teenagers, and by not telling them, well, by highlighting the fact that emotions are not important, you don't say that, but you focus more on what can we do next to make you better.
All right. So in this case in particular, it's also about how her son thinks he looks. And I've never, ever met a teenager who thinks they look fantastic, right? They're always comparing themselves to someone else. They always think that they are not the coolest and not the hottest deep down inside, even if they actually are. So you're really dealing with people's perception of how they are seen rather than how they're actually seen.
So when it comes to teenagers, obviously social media is loaded with compare yourself images. So we look at influencers, and we all want to emulate them, and we all want to be just like them, and we all want to achieve what they've achieved. And it sets an unprecedented and completely unrealistic goal for teenagers. And here's the rule, and we've discussed this within the concept of the coin theory. The more you invest into something, the more you value it, the more you care about it. The less you invest into something, the less you value it, the less you care about it. So if I invest R1 million into a business, I care about it a lot more
I
and
mean,
I value it a lot more.
Look at me. I wasn't upset with the cricket at all. It didn't do anything to my weekend because I don't care about cricket. I didn't invest a single cent. Yeah.
Exactly. But if I'd asked you to watch cricket for the last year and really invest in the players and the statistics and all the teams and all the, the bettings and well, the fact that South Africa would have lost, especially think about, like, imagine you invested R1 million into South Africa winning.
I'd be devastated.
That would have been exactly. Yeah. So the more you invest in something, the more you care. So we can't expect kids to invest into social media, which really highlights the importance of looks and images and how you portray yourself, and not care about it. Yeah. So if you want, as parents, if you want to help your kids deal with that side of things, you got to get them to invest into other things that they should value. So sports, social connections, education, reading, interesting podcasts, self-development, anything that they would invest into that helps them develop and grow. So it's the more they invest into social media, the more they're going to care about it. The more they invest into other things that they should value, the more they're going to care about that.
Delete TikTok, shout at them more. I mean, this is what I would do if I were a parent, right? Delete TikTok. In fact, just take their phone away and crush it under the car's wheel. Then never, ever replace it with anything. Make them a Luddite. They're only allowed to use things that are too heavy to carry around with them. And then shout at them a lot. This is the kind of parent I would be. So that the peace they find is when you're not shouting. Being at school is nice because you're not shouting at them. They don't have to hear you shouting at them. Then their lives will be 10 times better. Don't you think that's a good idea, Doc? Wouldn't I be a great father?
Mm.
So let me offer an alternative. So
that's very diplomatic.
So realistically, you can't veer children's attention away from social media unless you're prepared to take away a phone or use it as a consequence to get them to behave and, I don't know, do their homework and make sure that they achieve certain things. So one thing that as parents you have to understand is that you're not going to logic it out of your kids. So if your kids value looks, you're not going to be able to sit them down and logic it out of them that looks is not important. So to our analogy with the cricket, if you invested
offer them
all your money into South Africa,
I mean, what if you say to them, look, we all understand you got a big ugly nose. How about we pay for you to have it fixed?
Well, all right, let me offer an alternative. So imagine the cricket again. Imagine you've lost everything you have because you've betted on South Africa winning. And I turn to you and I say to you, Gareth, don't worry about it. Life is more meaningful. It's bigger than that. Money's not important. You're not going to listen to me. It's going to go in the one ear and out the other, because logic and emotion work on two different frequencies. So if you as a parent if your kids are gonna invest in social media and therefore in their looks and image, you as a parent, you've got no chance logicking it out of them. You got to get them to experience life in other ways. You got to get them to get out of their phones and start living life in real life.
You just said something so amazing, and you do this every now and then. You drop one of these pearls of wisdom. You said that logic and emotion run on different circuits, something like that.
Yes,
they can't run at the same time. Is that right?
Yeah, 100%. Logic and emotions don't work on the same frequency. You can't. It's like oil and water; they just don't mix. So when somebody's really angry, you can't logic it out of them. When somebody's really anxious, you can't logic it out of them. When somebody's really upset, you can't logic it out of them. So if you try to logic somebody's emotions away, you will lose every time. They work on two different circuits. They work on two different frequencies. They don't match. So instead of working through emotion with logic, listen to this. The recipe is you got to work through emotion with experience. Experience will change the emotion, not logic. So if you have somebody's feeling upset about something, if you get them to experience something else,
throw them in
that will
exactly.
But jokes aside, you know. Yeah. So, sorry to interrupt, Leigh-Ann, but jokes aside, changing your physiology, like cold immersion, cold ice bath, letting them listen to music, watch something interesting, anything that taps into your five senses will completely change your physiology and therefore completely change your emotion. If somebody's feeling sad and you dunk them in the pool, they will stop feeling sad. If somebody's feeling disappointed and you make them listen to music that they're really passionate about, their emotions will change. If you change somebody's physiology, you will change their emotion.
This is very, very good. Okay, I can imagine lots of people doing insane stuff just to experience something completely different to how they're feeling. But who knows? I mean, maybe we've helped the person in the WhatsApps earlier. But I think that you've dropped some incredible wisdom for us this morning too. In any case, as you always do, it's very good to spend time with you, Doc. We must go for a lunch sometime. I think it would be fun to sit down and talk nonsense with you and not deal with all these ongoing problems from these moany listeners of mine. Ugh.
I would love that. Let's do that.
Bye. That's Dr. Hanan.
Bye, guys.
I'm only kidding about the moany.
Listeners.
I like the moany listeners. Bring it on. I see someone saying here, Raven makes a very good point, actually. You see, he says, children's brains are not fully developed. There's no understanding of consequences. So everything is in the now. I'm glad I'm not a parent. Good luck to all the parents. Pride flower pansexual. Oh, I think that's like the flag and the symbols that they're using there.
Oh, right.
The emoticons.
The emojis, yeah.
Emoji? What's the difference between emoji and emoticon?
Nothing.
The same thing. I will tell you what the other thing is that I'm really tired of seeing on the internet. I didn't see it this weekend. I saw it during the week. I don't go on social media over weekends. But I think it'll irritate you too. And you know what? There's nothing better than getting annoyed on a Monday morning. That's just the best. And we've got that and a whole lot more coming, including Leigh-Ann will tell you why when you've taken all your vitamins, you feel nauseous. Have you ever had that?
That feeling.
She'll tell you why. She's got the solution to your problems. All of that is coming up next. Don't go anywhere. This is The Real Network, the Gareth Cliff Show with Leigh-Ann Mole, me, and you.
IQ Matrix LED headlamps.
Oh, I like those.
And they are brilliant because, first of all, I have astigmatism. So that means I don't get enough light into my retinas. So night driving for me can be a real headache. And if I didn't have those lights fitted, I would have had to take a shuttle. So what makes this special is that you can actually put your brights on, high beam full on, okay? And you're not going to dazzle a single person on the road because it illuminates what's going on around at the side of the road as well.
Yeah.
So if there's oncoming traffic approaching, it immediately dims some of those little LED lights. It disables some of them.
Catch us every Monday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and on autotrader.co.za.
Spain. I'm going to back Spain for what I did to you guys last time. I've got them as 2-1. A lot of people in the studio are very happy that I said that. And it's also because Italy's got a leaky defense. So I think Spain is going to run around them. And France, look, I'm backing that French attack for that 3-1.
Okay, so if you are more adventurous than us, you can obviously bet on the Proteas. You can play in the Super 8 of the Cricket World Cup. We're not going to touch that business.
Yeah.
Oh, James, get out.
Get out.
Get out, James. James buggering around with microphones. All right, it's Monday morning, and we are live, and we're ready to take you into your new week, new month. It's the 1st of July, too, today. Quick thing, if you ever take, and I do, I take a bunch of different pills in the morning just because, I want to live forever. So I do things like, one of the things I've added recently is methylfolate, apparently very good for you.
Isn't that for pregnancy? I don't know.
No.
The methyl part,
No, I told you why I do this.
Folic acid is what I'm
So
thinking
I was convinced of this years ago by a guy called Ray Kurzweil, who, look, he's old as the hills now, but he reckons that we will be one with the computers. We reach the point of singularity by 2028, which is not far away. And he says by 2042, we will be a hybrid species, one with the cloud.
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun. So I'm not going to reach that point being a disaster, falling apart. So I just take it in case. You know what? If it's a waste of money, makes for expensive urine, then too bad. But I take these things in the morning, and then I do have a little bit of stomach unease first thing, right? What is it?
Well,
and look who's here. Alan Ford is here.
Look who's here.
Look at this. It's Alan Ford.
Good morning to you and to you and especially to you.
Very nice, Al. Because
it's a green bottle.
Yeah. All right. So just quickly, Al, first of all, welcome.
I look like I'm going to the horse races.
You do actually, but the last time I saw you was at the horse races, so that's appropriate. But you're a lib, so that's okay.
Yeah, because it's July. So you got the dry July, the hard July, the Durban July.
Durban July.
Yeah.
Right. So, Al, first of all, you've just got back from London.
Yes.
I saw you had a nice little trip to London.
Great trip to London.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I haven't been to London with a king before. The last time I was in London with a queen.
Oh, right.
So it's been.
But you're always in London with the queen.
It was just with a proud
Al,
week.
you're always in London with the queen.
That's the interesting thing.
Well,
So
I
there were
thought
so
that's what he
many
was talking
queens.
about.
There were so many queens and 2 kings, of course, King Camilla and King Charles. So it's just
very good.
Yeah.
So, Al, it's nice to have you back. But
it's great to be here. Good morning.
I know, when we talk about vitamins, you always used to have Professor Harry Seftel.
Honest Harry.
And he used to tell you,
Always.
Alan, if you take vitamins, you're just wasting your money. It's expensive urine.
And fish, fowl, and fiber. Those 3 things. He did used to say things like that. But I think your vitamins are important.
Do you
gotta
do vitamins?
I do vitamins.
Yeah.
I really do.
I take too many other medications. I don't want to.
But you even have the pill box with the different
Yeah,
days.
That's just to survive.
That's depression, all those things.
Okay,
Those things
all
you've got to
right.
take.
But do you take vitamins and supplements? And
So, I'm not suggesting you actually can get those ranges that are like BioPlus has got their full range of stuff.
Yeah,
and you can just go get the full range of. You can just go buy the 4-in-1.
Like a multivitamin.
And you keep no, not one tablet. It's got like all 4 tablets in one, and then you got everything.
right.
You got your magnesium and your.
Yeah, you need that stuff.
But I don't know. My life's gone weird. I'm getting gout at the moment. And I don't eat meat. I don't
Welcome
eat
to this
chicken.
episode of Matlock
It's
Crossed with the Golden
very
Girls.
very much hereditary.
Who are you in the Golden? Who are you in the Golden Girls, by the way? I'll come to gout in a moment.
He's the man.
Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Yes, he's the man one. Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder if I'm blonde. No, I'm not blonde.
I'm Dorothy, am I?
Yeah, you're definitely Dorothy. You'd be Arthur. Do you remember when we used to interview her? I actually interviewed B. Arthur
Oh,
once.
did you?
Yeah.
She had a very deep
She
voice.
came to South Africa. She came to do a show at Peter Turin.
Is
She had a
is
very
she
deep
grumpy
voice.
in real life?
No, she was stunning, actually.
Oh, really?
She lay on a piano and she was 81. She was great. But yeah,
I'll be
anyway,
Dorothy.
But coming
Yeah, that
back to
sounds
gout,
okay.
I mean, I don't drink. So I don't understand why I get this
It's
stupid
hereditary.
thing. It's just
So what is that? What is gout? I don't know what that is.
it's like when this classification between the joints.
feet
Where is
sore.
it? Is it your toes?
Yeah, my toes.
Are
Yeah,
your
it
toes
starts
sore?
in the
Are they
toes.
sore?
Toes
What,
are
like you
sore.
can't move them sore? Or
It's
It's
very
like
painful.
very
It's
painful,
and it's an
yeah.
interesting thing because all the things that give you it, I don't
you aren't
drink. I don't do. I
No,
don't
it's in your
do it.
genes.
It's
My
just kinda
brother's
crazy.
just started with his because my dad has gout,
Yeah.
and
It's just
there's,
such a.
there's a tonic that you can get in Norwood.
So
you know it?
Yes, but the problem is that tonic makes you high and then sleepy.
Oh.
And it gives you so much stuff. It gives you. It's like 10 things put in one.
wow. That
You've gotta
can't be
take everything
legal.
to relieve
Whatever
the pain.
you two are taking now.
Yeah.
Let's get
So
back
anyway,
to
So back
vitamins.
to vitamins.
The
So
pills.
why
So
why
those
do
are
you get
important to do that.
nauseous?
Okay, so we generally take them in the morning before we eat anything, which
Yeah.
is a big mistake, right? And this is according to David Poppers. He's not popping pills, but his name is David Poppers, gastroenterologist in New York. And if you're not experiencing nausea, it might just be like abdominal discomfort or sometimes even diarrhea. Sometimes the tablets go in one way and come out before they're even digested. So that you actually should be taking them in a specific order. If it's a more acidic vitamin like vitamin C or folate, those can cause nausea if you have them on an empty stomach. You should actually have a snack or a little bit of food with those.
No.
And then your fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, those are better absorbed when they're not taken with food. So it's not about blindly just taking everything at once. You need to actually, if you're going to respect your body by taking vitamins, and at least respect your stomach. And have them at a
It's
certain
sad when you
time.
intermittent fast like I do. Then you can't take any. My diet's upside down because I'm on I was on a lot of antibiotics, and then you try and take your vitamins. So I'm doing a lot of things on
It's
empty
so
stomach.
complicated.
That's one thing my ex said to me when I said,
So-
I have to take this before food. He
You
said,
know
you're
what?
going to have to wake up at like 2 a.m.
Okay, so I
Did he?
get the nausea, but I think, okay, well, this is just a thing I have to get through. It's like, so life's not always, you're not always feeling perfect.
No.
But if I want those vitamins, I'm just going to suffer a little bit for a
The
little
problem is
while.
some of
As
these
long as I'm
don't-
not shitting the bed, I'm okay.
Some of these don't actually
not yet.
work well when you take them together, and they're going to cancel each other out and not be absorbed.
Okay, well then, yeah, then please.
And you should be getting everything that you need from your food.
My
as
partner
any
takes
doctor will
Schedule
tell you.
6 opioids on an empty stomach.
Oh,
Gee whiz, opioids.
They're not going to be around for long.
oh,
Yeah, but
Don't go buying any green bananas.
okay, interesting.
opioids. What
Sure.
are those again? I only know
Bitcoin
them in
puts-
like drug form. Like
Those are
Party.
bad, I thought. I don't
Okay,
know.
guys.
Yeah.
Do you see these things online of people saying, get ready with me? You know the
GRWM.
get ready with me videos.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Okay, you're very lucky.
What?
Thank God.
Because what it is it's these boring people. And they're like,
Well, it's influencers. And
yeah,
things.
exactly. Boring
Yeah.
people. You get ready with them.
With the makeup, while they're doing that.
They
Yeah,
make
while they're
up
doing their
fucking
makeup or getting
clothes,
dressed or eating their
shoes,
breakfast.
washing
or,
their assholes, whatever it is that they do. They're boring, like social media
Get ready
influencers,
with me.
and they get ready with me. So now, what you
Hashtag
must,
GRWM.
but the thing that you know, they never tell you what they're getting ready for, and you know they haven't been invited to anything interesting. So I reckon what they do is they get ready with you, and then they walk out of their door, they walk straight back in,
course
and
they
they
shower.
and then they cry. And they cry and
they're
they cry
using-
because they're getting ready and no one's invited them anywhere. Because if you're a get ready with me person, I'm not inviting
But
you.
Gareth, there is no point to it. The point is to just push product. This is the industry I'm in. I'm in the beauty industry.
Oh, what are you doing in the beauty industry?
Social
she's a model.
media, digital media.
Don't you know?
Get ready with me,
Oh, damn.
obviously.
Leigh-Ann, can I be a model at 47? Does it work?
Go on.
No, and it's all about, of course,
She's a nude
of course
model.
they're just. No, you don't want to see that.
OnlyFans.
Of course, they're
Leanne's
just walking.
OnlyFans.
Has she got a? I mean, sorry.
Look, she's
I'm
trying
still
to.
here.
You know what I meant there. I mean, you have fans.
Of course, they're just walking
Which-
out and then coming back, and then they're
So-
filming another one with more products and
Ugh.
different products after that.
So who's
Okay.
watching this?
Yo,
Even
Gareth,
worse people.
And you're also
Yes.
getting ready for school lunches, and you're putting
Mums
tomatoes
are doing it.
and
Everyone's doing
okay.
it.
So,
I'm-
you know,
watch me make my smoothie.
as a producer, I've done 26 years of all this. No more, 27 years of all this stuff. I don't go and run the 100 meters in 10 seconds. It's because number
don't
one,
go.
I
I'm very
can't.
surprised.
Really, I know. So am I.
I would never guess.
Because it's not my job.
Yeah.
So stick to your job.
Stick to your knitting.
Stick to what you do. And I think we've got too many people on screens.
Oh, I think on the planet.
No, that we know that 8 billion, but too many people on screens.
No, everyone's a star.
no,
There's no one to watch the stars.
Mm.
Yeah, it really is. Everyone's a star, and everybody's child is a
No.
star now, and
Yeah.
everybody.
I mean, also these celebrities are pushing their children on us. Just stop it. It's disgusting. I see Blue Iris, the child of Beyonce,
Yes.
is now being pushed out there as a product herself. We
Well,
got
You saw the Kardashian kid that did the stage production,
Yeah,
and it was so bad.
Kanye's children with Kim. The
Northwest. The child's name.
Northwest. Ugh.
I said east south. Is it the
I
next
mean, it
child?
was bad enough when like the Barrymores pushed Drew onto us. We had to watch her, that insufferable little girl in E.T.
But she was good at least,
Please. Grasping
My
for
hairy
attention.
legs will make lots of money on OnlyFans.
That's beautiful, Raven.
So,
I'm proud of you.
So I want to talk about this OnlyFans for a second.
Oh, okay. Well,
so
I knew
for
you
people
would.
who don't know what OnlyFans is, it's obviously, where people have their own little
and
personal...
you have to pay, right, to
Yeah,
see
just
stuff.
and then I can have an OnlyFans account, and I can, obviously put porn on there.
But it doesn't have to be porn. It didn't start
It could
that
be
it
way.
didn't start that
fetishes.
way.
It started off with like-
it was like this. It started off like this.
It was
food
like
fetish.
arts and crafts and
and do
yeah,
you know that
yeah.
that thing that you spoke about earlier?
Mm.
What's it called?
get ready with me.
Get ready
Yeah.
with me. This is
Yeah.
another way to get ready here.
Sure.
Was for other
Get
things.
unready with me.
Yeah. So here's the thing. But there are people that just they're like fat and ugly, and then they just do their feet. So they do feet porn.
Yes.
just do the
Yeah, it's
day-
a big thing.
yeah,
You know who
and they-
wanted to do that was Nina Hasty. She
And
was very keen.
and then they're
Oh.
totally keen.
Mm.
So it's interesting that's interesting.
Hobbit feet is a gold mine, apparently. So if you
Any
have
feet, if your feet are beautiful or ugly, you can make a lot of money
But
with them.
but what's going? I'm so confused.
So I don't know. I spoke to a psychologist once about this, Elle, and I
Why I have a
apparently,
fetish?
apparently it wasn't. I didn't go to the psychologist to talk about this. It was a
Make an
psychologist.
appointment
No, it
for
was a
it.
psychologist who happened to be at dinner with the rest of us.
I thought there was.
I said to her, why are there these people with this foot fetish thing? And she reckons it comes from when they're very little and they have an experience, like someone touches their foot or something, and it like imprints in their head. And then they end up, that's the only thing that turns them on eventually.
I had a friend
Or
who
when
was-
they're a
who was-
teenage boy and like a school teacher is wearing
Yeah.
like very sexy shoes, and one of the other kids points it out, and then they like obsess about that, and then that becomes their fetish.
Yes.
I had a friend who had a foot phobia,
Ooh.
and I promise you it was real. When we went on holiday in Mozambique, and we stayed on a beach. We slept on the beach and in these like huts. It was a really nice experience. Sounds horrible, but it
Yeah, it
was
sounds
nice.
revolting, but okay.
And obviously you're walking around barefoot the whole time, and she was permanently in a state. She can't look at feet. She can't look at her own feet. She can't have people touching her
Wow.
feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that feet don't play such an important role in my life. I'm really happy about not worrying about feet the whole
Yeah.
time. But why do you ask? Because you think it's odd also that people that would be the funny, that of all the body parts, it's the feet that would turn them on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, remember your
Or is this related to your gout?
No. But because
Just checking.
But just remember that a lot of the times, I would imagine the other body parts are involved in the other acts.
Like your feet
Your
plus
hands are
something,
in
a
things,
combi.
and so I would imagine the feet is a standalone thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get.
Get Hanan on the line. He would know.
Yeah, well, we've used up his time. Or you can't go over the clock with the
You can only
psychologist.
choose one ailment per week.
So I don't know. I think what's weird about the internet, and this is really an interesting game you can play with your friends as well. Is you ask them what the weirdest category of like kinky odd shit that they've seen on the internet is.
Wow.
The problem is
Because
it
I'll tell
always
you what,
becomes disgusting.
It is disgusting because people, like before, in the days before the internet, if you had a weird fetish for like, I don't know, syrup on titties or something, okay, and that was your thing,
Mm-hmm.
you would have to
Pay a lot of money.
but first of all, you'd have to talk to 1,000 people before you'd find one who maybe had the same thing. Maybe even 10,000.
Actually talk to and meet.
Yes. And of
in
those
person.
10,000 people, 99% of them would shun you forever. They would go, ugh.
Or
what's-
they would keep quiet
what's
about it, and
gross?
so would
Ugh,
you,
what's
and you'd
wrong with
never know.
You are so gross. I don't want to ever be around you again. They would be put off and disgusted, and you would feel shame, and you would not bring up your disgusting fetish again. Now, because of the internet, all the freak show stuff it gathers in little corners of the internet. Now, look, I mean, I'm not, as long as you don't get in my way, it's fine. You're allowed to do your thing. If you've got a weird fetish, that's
And you don't break
sharp.
the law.
As long as you
obviously.
don't break the law and it's consensual with another adult
of
human
course,
being,
yeah.
right?
I know.
But these things have only been allowed to grow because of the internet. And I'll tell you what, there are dark places. I mean, you just have to look at the categorizations of like the most popular, because they bring out that research every year. We try to talk about it on the show because it's interesting. It's like, what are the most popular categories? Like, stepsister stuff, or like
Oh, well, I mean, you just
MILF,
log
or,
on to any porn site and you can see
Yeah.
the categories for
Right.
yourself.
and there are so many categories now.
Well, not log on, just browse
No,
anonymously.
but there's so many categories now. It's become like everybody is so super. You know how humans get
super specialized.
They get super specialized. So now, I reckon when people meet, they meet, and 100 years ago they would have gone, "Wow, you're really attractive to me. Let's get together." Now they're like going through the categories of weird kinks and things, and if they don't match perfectly, which is highly unlikely, it's just not going to work, because like he's into the foot porn, but she's
got a foot phobia.
Yeah, she's got foot phobia, and then we got to call it off. So people just don't, that's why we're doomed as a species. We're doomed because of all these different micro-specializations and weirdness.
Yeah, and it's like a doctor. When you specialize too much, you know everything about one thing and nothing about everything.
Yeah, you become an expert in the big toe and nothing else.
Interesting.
I mean, what a time to be alive, right, Al?
What a time to be alive with gout.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about ass porn. I mean, ass to mouth porn here. This guy says raven, but
Raven.
foot and gout porn. Yeah, I wonder if there's gout porn.
I don't know. No, you can't
can't
yet
see
see
it.
it. So
It's not like you have a carbuncle on your
it's not like a bunion.
I thought it was a thing that grew.
No, it's just feel it inside. It's invisible.
So it's not a growth.
No, it's in your bones.
Never
Oh,
see
how
it.
revolting.
It's in your joints.
Gareth strikes me as a golden shower kind of guy.
Oh, no, I'm definitely not. Slippery pickle, you could not be more wrong.
That is the most. Gareth would die. Actually, you would die. You could put him to death.
I can't. I mean, I
You can't even handle a drop of sweat on him. Like that.
So that
Seriously.
slippery pickle's
He
completely
gets
misread
angry
me
with
there.
himself when he sneezes.
It's true. Very true.
I am in the room.
known him for too long.
Rolene says we worked with an old man that bought shoes for women at work because he had such a foot fetish. Ew, an old man.
I dated someone who liked to dress up as a woman.
Ew.
Oh,
Yeah, and I actually bought him for his birthday a very large dress.
You dated
A very large dress.
Yeah, and like size and the biggest women's shoes I could find.
You dated this woman.
This man.
Yeah.
Yes. It was kind of weird at first, but
Did he really like?
yeah, he loved it.
He was
and
so
he
excited.
put
Did
the
you-
stuff
did you
on and I
enjoy
did
it?
his makeup.
Oh wow!
and would it?
It's like you were playing house.
I gotta
Yeah,
ask you a question. Was
weird.
it a fetish? Would it turn
Leigh-Ann was
into
playing adult Barbies.
No, it wasn't.
It didn't turn into a sexual thing. He just dressed up for you to then undress him.
No, he just enjoyed it.
It's like a drag
looking
queen.
at
You just
himself
like dressing
in the
up
mirror.
like a drag queen.
Yeah.
Drag artist. Yeah, it's interesting. So I want to come back to London. And I
Yes.
went
Tell
to.
me what you got up to.
So I said I went to a place called Heaven. Heaven's one of the most famous gay
It's a
clubs
nightclub, yeah.
in London. All the famous people go there, from Judi Dench. They've all been there, and they were there on a night of what they call Porn Idol. So we didn't know about it.
Oh Jesus!
But we wanted to go and see a drag artist from RuPaul's Drag Race called Miss Vanjie. I don't know if you know Miss Vanjie, but if you know who Miss Vanjie is, you'll catch it. So Vanessa Vanjie. And we went to go watch Porn Idol at Heaven. And it was so interesting because they had about 8 contestants. And the first prize was £1,000, which is good.
It's a lot of money. Yeah.
You know, it's good money. But the highest, ugliest people do these things.
Yeah, of course.
What
Who's
happened to
gonna-
the hot people? You know, London is the center of the world, of hotness. You know,
Oh,
gone
so
are
you
the
thought
days.
were
Gone
these
are
just
the days.
horrible drug addicts?
Gone are the days.
Were they
Yeah.
bad, Al?
You know, when England used to have ugly people because they never had a proper health system, so the teeth were always
The
skewed.
teeth, yeah, especially.
And the British people weren't pretty.
No.
Now there's just everybody else there, so they're a lot
Foreigners.
prettier, and then they
Okay.
okay. So
But oh, there we go. There's Miss Van.
so there's Miss Vanjie,
Vanjie.
and so all of a sudden, it comes to the stage, and they've got 2 minutes. Miss Vanjie's flying in from overseas, from Miami, to be one of the judges. Heaven is packed. There are drag queens there. There are a whole bunch of people, and they're doing these, and people have to got 2 minutes to
This,
get down.
by the way, this sounds like the Olympics for
There were
gays.
2 minutes to not gay.
Fantastic.
Firstly, there were probably, I think there were 5 guys and 3 girls.
Oh,
One, yeah, and the girls actually weren't bad. I must say, I was converted almost for a second, going, "What's going on there?"
okay.
Interesting moment. But the thing is that why is it that the 13th July at the July handicap, the 13th race, always the ugly people
Run
run.
naked.
Why are the hot people, the porn, the OnlyFans people, why were they not there? I was expecting to see some real hot ass.
It's the same as nudist resorts. Have you ever?
Yes, I have, and I've done a feature on it. And I'll tell you,
You've been to a nudist resort?
Yes, I've done. I've actually filmed for Anading and quite a few shows that I've done some stuff.
Right,
I'm interested in naturalism and in nudism. Again, another thing with that, there are people that finally settle into their bodies, which happens when you're like 70. And then I tell you, I'm going to tell you something interesting about nudist resort in a moment. And then all of a sudden they want to be free, which is great. Put your boobs out, put your thing out, do what you've got to do. Interesting thing about a nudist resort, you know, ladies have to carry a towel around with them because when they sit, so they don't leave
a snail trail.
Is that what so they don't leave a waterprint?
And the guys, but both sexes, the assholes rubbing on the furniture. Imagine you sit on someone's lounge suite
by the pool.
Well, we do that with our animals in our house. We have our cats sitting on our counters and our dogs on our sofas and pillows.
But anyway, so it's again. I want please. My appeal is the hot people.
They won't.
Please enter these things.
They don't have to.
No, but they're doing it on OnlyFans. For £1,000, they can damn well do it at heaven. What are you talking about?
So you were disappointed.
Sis, man.
You were very disappointed.
I was extremely disappointed.
Did you pay to get in?
So you go to a bar called GAY and you get a tag and you pay £2. So it's kind of, I mean, it's great, but it comes to another point that I want to raise because it was just the start of Pride Week. To the end of it. So it was.
Oh, so you were there
all
for
the queens. Well, no. Pride Week was this weekend.
I mean,
so
Elton John. I mean, he must have gone to a lot of those.
Listen, everyone goes to heaven. Heaven's quite a spot.
Yeah.
So, but I've noticed now that we now live in a society which we've always dreamed of, as a gay man, where everyone's integrated and we accept everybody.
Yeah, of course.
But they are everywhere. You straights, they are everywhere. It's like
what do you mean?
They're more
straights at gay places than there are gays.
I understand.
And women. And all the fag hags.
Yeah.
You know, you're there and we appreciate you. Thank you for loving us. Thank you. But please leave us because
beards.
I'm with someone.
What's a beard again? A beard is a woman who
doesn't shave.
A secret. No. Trust me, we've spoken about the body hair thing already this morning.
Yeah.
A beard. Someone told me this just the other day. Is a woman who is with a guy who's pretending to be straight, but he's actually gay. So he's closeted, and then the beard gives him cover.
Oh, right.
Okay.
So like an arranged.
Okay. So that's a different thing. Okay. But this is the hot girls go with their gay mates.
Okay.
And they go off to the clubs because they kind of feel they're in a safe space.
Yeah.
So let me start to give people some secrets, straight guys. Listen to me. Trust me. This is better than a Hanan moment. Trust me.
All right. Go on.
You take a hot fag hag with you. I mean, you joined.
Where do you find them?
I used to.
Your friends.
You were a fag hag.
Yeah, lots of them, and they're hot.
Yeah,
and they feel safe, and then they go to the gay clubs.
That was the thing.
Feeling
safe. Yeah,
and you feel safe, and then all of a sudden you take a straight. Like I've taken some of my straight mates before,
like guy mates.
Yeah, and they come in for the prowl, and the girls get drunk, and they feel safe, and then the boys just hit.
Word.
So straight guys. Go with the gay.
Just now it seemed like you were complaining about the straights coming to the gay places.
Straight guys that we convert perhaps, but not the woman, man.
Well, you can't have it both ways. Either you're inviting them so that they can score the girls, or you're inviting them because you want to score them.
So I wanted to just...
The one motivation is very different to the other.
I'm trying to explain the concept. It's a very integrated society. We've got a lot of women at all the gay places, which thank you very much. We appreciate you. But really, like there must be a cut-off time to 1 o'clock.
Yeah, and then also like
gay friends
of mine will say then they find a new spot. They've got to go and start something new,
and they've got to try and find a new thing because it becomes
sounds a lot like discrimination.
It's it now. Thank you. So you see, you can't have your cake and eat it. So that's why I sort of saying thank you for being there for us.
Yeah,
but now bugger off.
Right.
Seriously. You know, so it's just Gareth. There is an issue. It's just that now everyone wants to be at all of our places, and we liked our place. Our places are fabulous
because sometimes isn't the attraction of things also this secretive side of it?
But there's no secretive side anymore. Now that's all.
Yeah, Bitcoin Butts says here. I used to go to gay clubs to pick up chicks. who wanted to get away from oaks in the straight bars.
You
Yes,
see.
and that's what. So that's what I'm
Wanna
saying.
go, yeah.
So now they've got the Hogs Higgs next
Yeah.
to the Babylon.
Yes.
And in Nilova.
Yeah.
So all the straights
Yeah.
end up landing up. And
Yeah.
then there's fist fights, and it's like, oh, you know they're straight.
You.
Yeah, because gays don't have fist fights. Very
No.
rarely.
Well, they
Maybe
do
a
other
purse
things
fight,
with some things. But
Jesus.
good morning. How you doing?
Gay people walk into straight bars all the time. Don't be a cunt. Oh, that's nice of you, Sam.
Don't be what?
Well,
Okay,
I think
go
she
on.
meant cunt, but she spelt it can't. Very rough. Listen, that's a rough start to
Yes,
the morning,
sorry,
Sam.
Sam, I want
Yeah.
to come to you. So you're right, and I'm being a hypocrite. So don't get me wrong. And I'm not. You're right. It's
Yeah, but
100%.
Gay is not the opposite of straight in society because it's a population thing. It's you have what is the word I'm looking for?
It's the same
A
as
minority thing. That's what it is. So
See,
it's not. It's not
Sam's
black
right.
and
Sam's
white.
right.
It's
So
an opposite.
Sam, you're right. And I wouldn't often say that that being called that is appropriate. But Sam has a point because you can't have your cake and eat it. If you want an integrated society,
Yeah, you have to accept that it's
you know,
not always going to go
like-
exactly the way you want.
like I'm saying,
It's like the nudists. You can't go
Like I
into
tell my
the...
butch, I'm going to a gay dinner party because they're all gay guys. He's like, why do you have to say that?
And just not. I'm going to a dinner party.
Dinner party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Gay dinner
Sam,
party.
Sam, you know what? Gay people walk into straight bars. Also, don't be a can't. You're right.
Don't be a
Don't be a
cunt.
can't.
Yeah,
I
right.
think what you meant is don't be a can't do that.
Yeah,
You should-
exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Got you,
Um,
Sam Griffin.
Be a can.
And Raven says the straight boys go there for the free drinks because then the gays will buy
Yeah,
the
and
straight guys. free.
that's exactly what happens. And you find
so-
all the gay queens, and they all go, oh, it's so hot. And,
But you know what?
yeah. So it's yeah.
I might actually. The type of person that I wouldn't want to date would be a man who says, I wouldn't be caught dead in a place like that. I wouldn't go near that place.
Oh, yeah, you wouldn't
That's
like
the type
that
of
guy,
person
yeah.
I wouldn't.
But there are
want
not
to
a lot
date.
of guys like that anymore.
Yeah, we've moved on.
I mean, I really,
we
I
are,
think we have moved on as a society, Elle.
We
I
have.
don't think...
You'll be surprised, hey.
Yeah.
When you're in the workplace, there are a lot of people who still say things like, "That's so gay."
Yeah, but when you're saying that's so gay, you don't mean it like gay. You actually mean...
No,
that's
they mean like
No, man.
You know-
no. You're
I
being,
promise
no,
you.
you're being...
No, listen, you
In
still
the
get
makeup
homophobes,
industry.
and you
No,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
If
Well, you've
someone
got-
says that's so gay,
No,
they mean
not
it's
in
like
that way.
it's lame. They don't mean it's like gay as in gay.
But it's
gay
coming from the
people.
same person who is revolted by men putting on makeup. He feels disgusted.
Now I want to tell you. So at the Naledi Awards this year, I
That's the
was one of the
theatre awards,
sponsors,
right? Yeah.
and I chose to present the best costume and the best set. But I particularly asked to do this because I wanted to actually pay homage to the artistry of drag.
Mhm.
And it's we have incredible. Actually, we should get some on the show, Gareth. Some incredible South African drag artists that are just like Brendan van Rijn. And these are people that have done been to theatrical schools. They sing beautifully. So it's a big difference between what your boyfriend was doing.
Oh yes, yeah.
So weird to look at Leigh-Ann and say your boyfriend, because that's not an artistry. That's not a drag artist. That's just someone who likes to wear women's clothes. Nothing wrong with that. But drag artistry is a lot of work, and they make their own clothing, or they have designers design these beautiful pieces. So so I pay homage to drag artistry. And now, I mean, RuPaul's Drag Race is one of the top shows in the world. It's won all the Emmys over the past, I think, 10 years. And when it first started, everybody thought, what the hell's going on here? But it is an artistry. And so when you see some of the top drag queens of the world, they're making a fortune, Gareth. I mean, they're making a fortune. And it's a beautiful artistry. And it's
sure. But it's like,
So I chose to actually
some
do
people
that.
like musicals. Some people can't stand them. Some people like, watching pantomimes. I mean, I would rather be shot in the head
Yeah, it's
and dragged through the streets of Mogadishu by a Toyota Hilux than have to go to a pantomime in my life. But
like some people will feel awkward watching a musical. It's like
firstly, another thing about London, mind-blowing musicals.
yeah,
I went to see Mrs. Doubtfire, the musical.
oh wow.
The guy was better than Robin Williams on that stage. I went to see
maybe that's
six-
why Robin Williams killed
six-
himself.
So, Six is a musical about Henry VIII. It's almost like
And
the
his
Spice
wives?
Girls, and the Spice Girls meets Henry VIII's 6 wives. It's
Wow.
a lesson to the self. Lesson to self.
Yeah.
Self. That's Mayfair came there for
A
a
bit
second.
of self.
Self. Hello, darling. Hello, Leigh-Ann at this age.
Yeah.
That was me trying to be Mrs. Doubtfire. But so where was I?
The
I lost my
Spice
mind.
Girls,
Oh
Henry,
my God.
King Henry.
So
Dementia's kicking in.
So Six is a musical about the 6 wives
So
of Henry
you
VIII.
probably
rock.
wouldn't like it because
No,
it's
I'd
historically
hate
accurate.
it.
It's
First of all, it's a musical. I'd hate it.
It's all a rock show, which is brilliant.
Oh, God.
And I want to tell you about it because they make. Do you know who Henry V's wife was?
Catherine.
You'll know.
No.
Catherine de Valois.
Okay, and Henry IV,
Isabel de Bohan.
Henry III. Okay, you're a weird.
Henry III.
You worked in the. You're a freak. But the point of the matter, who in the world wouldn't know who Henry VIII was unless he had the 6 wives, and that was the lesson of that whole musical. Then we saw Hamilton, which is Alexander Hamilton, and Gareth, you would love the history of the Civil War in America. So great musicals. And then South Africa's also had 2 phenomenal musicals on at the moment. I mean, Mamma Mia was sold out. And we had Spring Awakening. So I want to just talk about musicals at the moment. Musicals are alive and well, and people should really, get back into taking their kids to see pantos.
You know what, El?
I know you don't love it, but
no, I
it's what
hate
used,
it. I don't just not love
on
it.
this network. I used to do this. I used to do
know.
promoting these
You
shows. And I love
basically,
it.
to your credit, and I admire this. I do see the value of theatre and musical theatre and all that stuff in society. I think it's an important part of society. I have absolutely no interest. I mean, if you invite me to any of that stuff, you don't even try because you know what my
but back in the day, Gareth, you liked. I mean, you and Leigh-Ann Liz were one.
L, I would rather walk over broken glass
I get
on
now.
my face than have to go to any of those things. I just don't. Some people like this stuff, some people don't. And you have, and this is what I want to get to your credit, you've kept theatre alive single-handedly in this country. You've supported all of the shows. You go to all the shows. You love the shows. You're very good at it. I think you're terrific with that stuff. I just, you can't get me to go.
On a side note, Corin Zoid's coming to town, by the way.
All right.
A good rock concert this week. You're
Oh,
see
really?
at Peter Turin.
Okay.
I want to just give it a
See, I mean, he knows what's going on.
So-
He really does know all the people in the business as well. Which
So I just want to just say that it's musical theatre's love and well, and
Okay.
and drag artistry is great.
I don't find I just don't find that amusing for the same reason I don't find like white people in blackface amusing. And I don't want to get into a whole political discussion, but I don't think that there are very, very funny. There are funny drag queens. There's that one who we had on not so long ago. Lily Slapped Silly.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's amazing, right?
Beryl,
she's very funny.
yeah, great.
She's got this character
Clive,
called Beryl. But honestly, like a lot of it, I find it's kind of like these guys really don't like women.
Gareth,
They are making fun
it's an
of
Artistry,
women.
no,
I know.
yeah, you miss it,
I
you miss
know.
it.
I know.
What
I've
is the
missed
show
out on
that
it.
I love? It's 3 guys who go around America.
it's Tu Wong Fu.
What?
Tu Wong Fu.
No.
Not that
It's
one with
almost
Patrick
it's
Swayze.
almost like Queer Eye.
It's a
It's
reality
with
series.
Bobby.
Oh no, I'm talking about the. So we talk about like the artistry of drag and Mrs. Doubtfire. We talk about Big Mama's House. You got Tootsie. Remember with Dutson Hotman. I mean, so yeah, main
Highball Sailor in the comments says Alan needs a leather harness, leather daddy makeover.
Ooh, highball.
Wow.
That
He
is
goes,
highball.
Ooh,
Highball.
You like that, Al?
Thanks, highball.
you're going to try that out?
No,
sure you
I'm
have.
The problem with leather is too tight and squeezing everything in.
I
I'll look like
I took a
A
leather
harness.
jobby on my
Did you
honeymoon.
imagine?
Did you? You what?
Oh, no, no.
Yes.
You what?
Yes.
You're
It was-
freaky. You're
Oh, she's
freaky.
been
It was
she's
one
been
of
a
those where
swinger.
it's a
She's done all the stuff. Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's a triangle, but the triangle's empty. So you have your
So you can
boob
see your
out.
nipples out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
like
And then you get the leather test.
metal chains over them.
Wow.
Oh my
And it
God.
had
This is
matching
a great
bottoms as
Monday
well.
morning.
Have you
Hello
still
to you.
got
Welcome
it?
to
So
July.
firstly, I got stopped at the airport on my honeymoon because they could see this metal leather thing through the X-ray, and I was still at that point trying to hide it from my husband, so that was weird. And then I did put it on, and I came out, and we laughed until we cried, there was just no, it wasn't sexual at all. We laughed until we went for dinner, and then
Somebody says 50 Shades of Leigh-Ann.
trying to put that thing on, and the sounds of it in the bathroom, and the clanging, and that was hilarious.
But you have leather bars where people can go to things. So not my bad. But thanks for the daily,
leather bars, hell.
Yeah. Leather bars. There's one in Cape Town. Where they dress up and
You see again, specialization.
Yeah, but that's
everybody's got a place now.
But the leather bar.
Now, what if you go into the leather bar and you're not into the leathers?
It's a bit weird because I have been into the leather bar.
A balloon, what's that? Lycra stuff.
Yeah. So what if you go in there and
I think it fits in the leather bar.
Do the leather people all turn around and look at you like
they do? They look at you. Why are you wearing clothes like a top? Why are you wearing a jersey? What's going on? But interesting times, interesting places, interesting people.
Well, I want to ask you about all the other things that you've been up to because we haven't caught up with you on the show for a very long time.
Well, it's been a year.
I've actually missed you guys. And
what's news?
I love the new studio setup. Thank goodness I watched. Where we are? Are we in France at the moment? Looking behind us.
That could be the Alps. Could be anywhere.
Alps?
We could change it. We could put you. Do you want to be in Bali?
No, I'm happy. I like the Alps. Alps are good today. It's beautiful. Welcome to
lovely.
the Alps.
Look at out through Ellen's window.
This is great stuff, and it's so good to see everyone in studio. So it's great to be here. Lots of things have been happening. You know, life is good. Travel's great. I love traveling.
You do a lot here.
And
you've been traveling more than almost anyone I know.
Well, it's expensive though.
No, but let me tell you what it is. I replaced the alcohol addiction with something more positive. So I told you about the what I do. So the money I used to spend on alcohol, they make you do this in rehab. They make you do this
financial
test. You see, what did you spend
your money on?
How much did you spend a weekend, a month? And so it worked out and then say it as there's but when I went out for wine or went to good restaurants, it was around 10,000 Rand a month.
That's
just
a lot.
On alcohol. Gareth, is it? Think about it. If you go to a club once or twice a week, you're spending $1,000. That's 8,000 a month.
600 Rand for a bottle of wine at a good restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. And so the 120,000 Rand I put into a slush fund in a slush fund, and that's for travel money, just for fun.
Okay,
so it's an incentive.
Sure.
And I mean, look, if you do add up like 10 grand a month, it's 120,000 Rand. That's not to be sniffed at. That's quite a lot of money.
So it gets you at least 3 tickets a year. And so so traveling's a great thing to do.
And then where do you stay when you travel?
No, then you have to stay in accommodation. You book hotels. And it's like that.
Yeah.
I always people say, you travel a lot. I said, I don't have school fees.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about all that.
I mean, I don't have kids. So I don't have to pay school fees or pay for extra lessons for water polo. I've been to school already. I don't want to go to school again.
Yeah,
I don't want to go to the first.
No, I'm totally with you.
So grade 1 and grade 4.
Where do you still want to go? I mean, like, what's do you have a wish list of places? Because it's always fun.
My partner and I, we said, what are we going? He must pick a city, and I must pick a city relatively close to each other.
Right.
And I'd never been to Venice, and he'd never been to Athens. So we're doing Venice and Athens,
okay,
and then some islands and fun in between that. But so because you learn so much. I mean, I hadn't been to Europe on a cruise for a long time. So last year I did a cruise and I went to Pompeii, and I was literally blown away.
Yeah, you told us
by Pompeii.
Yeah.
So the world is there for you to see, and I find it's the only place that when you travel, you learn so much about other people, other cultures, and other things, and other places, and it takes you out of your little bubble that you sometimes get locked up in.
Yeah, and you sometimes you think you're far up the food chain. You have a high opinion of yourself until you're
same as going to the bush, and it brings you down to earth. It takes you in. It can and it's very inspiring. So I love it. I mean, I know everybody loves travel. You should.
No, of course. I mean, it's experience, right? And people love it for different reasons. Some people, the most important thing for them is where they stay, the hotel. Some people, it's the food. For some people, it's the culture. For
it's all that. Now, coming to flights. The flights are an interesting thing.
Oh, I hate flying.
But you see, my problem is can I tell the story because it's important? So I'm a part of Discovery, and now you get if you
big discounts.
If you if you tell yourself correctly,
Yeah, we've got TTS on the show often. So travel.co.za. They actually built the
it's
backbone
great.
of that.
So I got 75% off a business class flight,
That's very
but
good.
it's still paying for my flights. And so through British Airways. So there I was in this, the cabin where you close the cabin. And
Oh, wow. Okay. You got your own little suite.
And then they brought that stupid Airbus back. And they stuck 3 people next to other. They had a man's face like this. I sleep like this, and I look at him, and
oh no,
we're doing. But who do you talk to about this? Because I want to say to British Airways, or any airline for that matter, when I've got a problem, it can be addressed. When flights get delayed, Gareth, they don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Now imagine you arrive at the Palace or Sun City. I mean, just think about something, and so your room will only be ready at 7:00.
No, you'd be furious.
You'd be furious.
And you'd go and you know who to complain
and the
to.
manager would be there to say to your face, listen, we're going to do this.
So you don't know who to
So I
complain
don't know who
to.
to complain to.
So did you have a tantrum?
No, you can't have a tantrum. And you're in business class, you don't do it. But I just felt like saying, stop. You can't give me one thing and then do another thing. And then who do you speak to? Then you'll write a letter.
But I've heard this
They
is
don't
happening
care,
a lot.
that's the
Like there are, particularly on the London flights, I don't know whether it's true or not, but this is, again, anecdotal evidence that I've been told about by people I know, that they find that these flights are often delayed. You go to the airport, you think you're on a 7:00 flight, and then they say, no, it's 10:00.
Well, the guy next to me had been pushed off, but I want to know, who do I phone at British Airways? Because the airlines I find airlines don't care. They don't care. They don't care. It's the one industry that doesn't give a damn about you. Patco buses care more about you, I promise you, than British Airways for that matter. A Patco bus cares. I promise you, that driver cares through the streets of that pothole. That Patco company cares more
about its passengers.
Then I promise you, than the airlines do. You're delayed with your 6 children, and they don't care. It's not like, we're sorry for the delay.
But
6 hours later.
I didn't know that you. So when you in business class, you look at the other person.
So now that's gone, instead of going 1 2 1, it's gone 2 3 2, and so. And the bread was broken, and
the bread was broken.
The bed was broken.
Oh.
The bed. I'm going. What's
supposed to break
my
bread.
mouth is like bread. This whole thing's. But
This
here's my
Gout is
thing.
bad, hey.
And I want to just say, please, if someone can help me,
I don't want this bread.
how do
broken.
we address this one industry which thinks they can just do what they want? They really do.
I'm glad you've got an axe to grind.
Yeah, because that's the ANC. They used to think they could just do what they want. Now they can't.
Yeah.
So
good.
now, so I want to know, how do we say, who do I phone?
There'll
Because you can't.
be
because
a
it's not
line.
It's not the
No one cares.
and they don't care. Same thing on Ethiopian Airlines.
Didn't you go
So
to
then-
Taylor Swift?
Yeah, these are good things. I'm just trying to say, and I'm not trying to be. Please, I'm not. I just. if
Okay, we
someone
got
can
that
help
out of your
us-
system now.
Yeah.
Tell me about Taylor Swift, because you went to the concert.
Wow. I'm not a Swiftie. I knew it. So just imagine this. You arrive, Wembley Stadium, 92,000 people.
Oh.
Okay. This should cause an earth tremor with people dancing in Edinburgh. Think about it. 2.3 on the Richter scale.
It caused an earth tremor.
Yeah, that was in the news in the UK when we were there.
Good Lord.
So
They really are.
92,000
Now,
people.
it's a security risk. We should shut down Taylor Swift.
So this artist, and she's an artist, comes to the stage. Gareth, 3.5 hours performing 45 songs,
Ugh.
playing 3 instruments, dancers, backup singers, diving into the stage, which looks like she was diving into water.
Oh,
It
really?
was
Wow.
insane. It was
Okay,
so
so
incredible.
From a production point of view, it's worth
it
the
was
money.
really- So, but interesting fact, bumped into quite a lot of Americans. I was like, wow, what are Americans doing in London to watch Taylor Swift? I mean, she's a proper American from Nashville.
Yeah,
she's,
sure.
And it's cheaper to go to Europe to watch
Wow.
Taylor Swift at
Fly
900.
to Europe.
I was closer to God than to Taylor Swift. That's how far I was from that stage.
Oh, you were up high.
No, it was cheaper at £950. It was cheaper for Americans to fly
Wow.
to the UK. She's $8,500 for the good seats,
Wow.
$4,500 for normal seats, and then backstage, being behind the stage, because your stage goes out, so you can't see. She is $2,000 for the seats behind.
But I saw.
the
I mean,
stage.
you were there. Everyone was there. We were talking about it the other day. I didn't look for this stuff. It was being served up to me about how Tom Cruise.
So we were there that same day.
Prince William.
Tom
Prince
Cruise
William.
was there, and Prince William was there, and
Jesus.
I mean, it was, but it's just, she's a phenomenal, and that's why I wanted to see her, because of this
Right.
phenomenon aspect, you know. And I thought I'll use these.
And she's really good, you say. Okay.
She really is good, and you know, it was very blessed because Britain, London is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal city. And it's now become one of my favorite cities. It never used to be, maybe because I mean I have
It's
been
never
in
been
summer
mine.
before,
It's,
but Gareth, it's just got something. It's London's changed. There's no more fish and chips. There's top restaurants. You know what I'm saying? It's no more just we've got to slip around in a tube. London's got a joie de vivre to it.
Oh, really?
All of a sudden, London is really become incredible, and it was Pride Month, so it was very gay friendly, and it was all cool. And there's a king, and so it's always fun. You know?
Okay.
And I like the royal family.
You never used to.
Well, I didn't understand the point, and then you and I've met members of the royal family, Gareth. But
Yeah.
have you ever met a? I mean, you've not met a lot of queens, but I mean, you've never met.
No, I don't think so.
So I kind of, and the pomp and ceremony,
Yeah.
I get it. And I get, it's a beautiful city. It's a historic city. It was and is still, to some extent, the center of the world. So it's, I'm very pro London.
Right, I like that. I've heard, though, that it's a major thing. I don't know whether it's just something you've experienced here, but there, tipping is really complicated.
No, not at all. They add 2.5% to the 12.5% to the bill,
And they do it automatically.
Yeah. But I do want to bring up something
Because I have a major problem with tipping. I think tipping is not compulsory. I don't think people get a tip just for doing what they've got to do.
But Gareth, you know, so there's something that South Africa has started doing, and it's annoying. There's a petrol station. There's the one in Engine. There's a petrol station.
A big one.
This
on
big
the way
one,
to
yeah.
Santon.
Yeah.
On the way to Santon,
Yeah.
South Road. There's another one I stopped at yesterday, which was a Shell garage. Also close to on
Doesn't matter where they are. Tell me what
No, it's
happened.
important because I want to point them out. I remember my grandmother who was born in Mayfield, didn't have money, but she would say put R5 petrol in but put R4.80 into the car and leave 20 cents tip. We don't have cash anymore. When we pay for petrol, we
Cards,
all tap.
phones, yeah.
And so you can't tap the petrol attendants any longer. A
No,
lot
you've
of
got to have
places
cash.
don't. And you know, Gareth, petrol attendants is a service that they do, and as far as I remember in my 46 years of life, you tip a petrol attendant. You say you give
So
a
what is it about
gratuity.
these two specific?
No, not these two. It's a lot more than that. They don't give the guys tips anymore. And I want to just make an appeal that
I hate tipping.
but
I
Gareth,
hate it
I
so
love
much.
tipping, but I
tipping's
never have the
important, man.
cash to do it. I've got
I
to go
don't
and
have the
draw
cash.
cash and then buy something to get change.
Gareth, people need money, and they're on basic salaries. Imagine not tipping a waitron. I mean,
Yeah,
you've
I
got
have
to
no
tip,
problem with
tipping.
tip a
I
bar.
feel good doing it.
If you go to the bar, I mean, I don't go to the bar, but you give them a tip, guys. That's how people make money. And my appeal is, if you know petrol station owners, or if you're a petrol station owner, please put that in your card facility. I know it's an admin problem. I get it, but do it. You know, all over the world, America, London, it's on the bill, and you just pay it, and you don't have to question it, and it's the right thing.
Yeah,
to
but
do.
it also shouldn't be something that's just taken off immediately, because it's a reward for excellent service. That's what a tip is. It's not just for existing. Like, I don't like this idea that we're tipping people for
Gareth,
doing an average job.
I do
Yeah.
hear you.
No,
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm
remember-
generous. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like
I know you are.
I'm not some schnorrer
No,
who sits
so
there and goes,
you
"Well,
are.
I'm not tipping because I want to save money." It's like if someone does an incredible job, I will tip them 15, sometimes 20%, without even thinking about it. It's not a problem to me.
Gareth,
But I don't like this mandatory thing.
But have you ever done? I've been a waiter.
No, I haven't.
That's how you got
It was for one day.
$3.90 an hour.
Yeah.
So then get a better job.
No, but
It's a
Gary,
waiter job. It's not your job for life.
But that's what you, as a student, people
God.
rely on. Come on,
Please.
No,
Then you want to support a whole bunch of. So you just said just now you don't have to pay school fees. That's why you can travel. So you want to cry me a river about tipping? Then you go and draw 1,000 rand every month, keep it on you, and just hand out tips.
I think it's important.
Don't tell me. Don't force me.
I think it's important.
You could do whatever you want. Don't make me do it.
But
I'm not getting involved.
all I'm
fine.
saying is these petrol stations allow the tipping feature.
Do they not allow?
The machine won't allow it.
Sasha,
yeah, I know
Sasha
that,
says,
yeah.
I always tip using my card at the fueling stations.
But
See, I didn't know you could do that.
Can I tell you, Sasha? Very, very few places. A lot of places have stopped. Come, just go to some of the local ones here in Santon. Some do, a lot don't.
I didn't know that was an option. I'm really old
no, I'm
school.
This is
serious.
interesting. Raven says there's no tipping here in New Zealand. Everyone gets paid very well, but that means the service is crap because there's no incentive.
So a good point. So that's number
And
one.
the salaries are so similar.
And the salaries are good, and they can live on those salaries. So a waiter gets their £1,000 a month, but tippings are what people, guys. Whether you on the yachts, whether you are
the yachts are all about tipping.
all about tipping. It's a big thing. Tips are important, and then they give you the extra service. And I agree. If the service is crap, don't tip.
No, then you don't have to tip.
But a lot of the time, tipping is saying thank you for a service, and people rely on it because you get
Slippery Pickle says my new business model is to expect my customers to pay my staff. Great business model, right? Come on, El.
Come on.
You want to?
Pickle,
If you want to go and save the world,
no, guys.
you go ahead. It's fine. You can tip all of the ones that I'm not tipping. How about that? We've got a deal.
Gareth, I know you tip everybody.
I do. I'm very nice.
Don't talk nonsense. Come on.
But I'm not going to. I don't think it's mandatory, and I don't think it should be compulsory.
I didn't say mandatory, but give the option.
And also, don't tell me that. Oh well, when you're waitering, it's a low-paid job. Yeah, but you shouldn't be waitering for 40 years. You got to find another job along the way. Maybe you become a manager.
We're not talking about
Maybe
that.
you become the owner of the restaurant eventually. Maybe you're
Gareth,
the chef.
In this country, we have people that do petrol attendant services.
Sure,
and
nothing wrong with that.
They rely on that
It's
money.
an honourable job.
They rely on that money, and guess what? The fuel station managers are not paying them what they should be paid.
My
To be at 2 o'clock in the morning filling up
changed
your car.
completely about tipping. I used to always tip, and I still do always tip. However, I had a different opinion about it before. Before what? Before battling for money.
Oh yeah.
That changed my perspective completely.
And in COVID, all the apps allowed you to tip so much more to the kitchen staff and the waitrons and that, because tipping is a big part of their money.
Uber Eats or Mr. Delivery, 10% for me.
I
That's
do
what
15. Straight up.
That's
15.
very generous.
But what I'm saying, but you don't know what that service is going to look like, and the food's going to come upside down. So why are you doing it there?
That's true.
It's out of
Why
trust.
are you doing
it's
it
out
there?
of trust.
Yeah, and my milkshake comes upside down.
But
on top
no,
of my,
you know what that is?
my
Okay,
food.
so that's if I'm lazy because I'm ordering on Uber Eats, then I will pay 15% tip.
But you're lazy to cook the food in the restaurant, so I go to the restaurant.
That's exactly the point. But I'd rather order it and then someone has to
But
bring
I'm
it.
saying you're still
tipping-
lazy. Someone's still got to go. You go to the restaurant. You're not cooking the food.
You're tipping the person for bringing it to you.
No, that's your service fee. That's your delivery fee.
I think they get paid.
See, I think you just caught
very
yourself
poorly.
there.
They do.
Which-
That's a fact.
Maybe I have.
They
Maybe
do.
I've. Maybe you've caught me out.
I think
Okay.
We caught Gareth.
I don't know.
I don't want to be on the wrong side of catching Gareth out.
Yeah,
Okay?
it doesn't often
All right.
happen. It doesn't often
I mean,
happen.
I'm happy to be caught out on this one. I just don't think it should ever be compulsory.
I know.
And by the way, if someone screws it up, you should be able to take a tip back.
A different story, and I'm not disagreeing
Right.
with you. And if it's poor service, I get it. I was going to ask you. So, Gunya, I don't know if you spoke about it this morning. Interesting.
The government of national unity.
Yeah.
Mm?
John's DNA, the fight was for the Minister of Agriculture.
Hey?
Fascinating.
They wanted that.
Is that what you want? The farms. I mean, freedom fighter. I kind of
Give us
understand
the
that.
land.
I mean, it's an interesting portfolio. Wait,
Yeah.
John, can you see him?
Gayton
I don't
McKenzie for Minister of Sport. By the way, let me just ask anybody who ever went to school or is at school or remembers school, there is a chasm between sport, arts, and culture. Like the
Yes,
sport kids are here. The
Yeah.
arts and culture kids are over here. They're totally different, but they throw them all and they smush them into one ministry.
But so interesting because he was a former prisoner, so I would have put him in correctional services. I would
That's where he
have
wanted to be.
moved the free and front people who are going to be very strict in
Agriculture.
prisons. I would have put them to agriculture. I would have taken
Because he's prisons, right?
yeah, prisons. That's,
Yeah.
it's. I was fascinated about all of that going on here. So I was like,
I don't know if there was much choice. I think there was fighting for the scraps at some point.
Also, what you've all got to remember, and I think
But
I may have hinted at this earlier, is like politicians are never expert in their portfolio. They're
they're not meant to necessarily.
No, of course,
But-
but they usually don't know a damn thing about what they. I mean, Bladen Zimande is science and technology minister. I mean, I don't think Bladen Zimande knows how to switch his phone on.
But but it's. I think we're in for some really interesting times. I've got to say, I think South Africa's back on the. I think we got to start flying again.
I think so.
I think it's.
I'm
and
cautiously
so positive,
optimistic.
and I'm so positive for South Africa. I
What's-
think it's a good result, and
it's not the same as it
the
was the
markets
time
are going to
before,
rally,
which
by
is
the way,
nice.
when they open today. So
Just
get
tell me
ready for so
quickly,
much
Elle,
fun. Yeah.
What do you think of this? Because you've always had like lots to say about fat people too, and you've been very much fatter.
Yeah, up and down
But
like a
Gayton
yo-yo.
is fat, says Bitcoin Boots. How can he be Minister of Sport?
There are plenty of fat policemen.
Mike
It's,
No, they're-
was also fat.
listen, it's
They're fat fit people
they're
too.
fat fit people. Yeah,
Fat fit.
yeah. There's some fat. All the spinners are
fit
fat. Are like
people
quite
too.
yeah. A lot of spinners that can spin, and they've got
Spinner.
they're spinning on the spinning
Spinning.
bike.
Oh,
yeah,
those ones, right.
and
okay.
they're broader.
I thought spinster. I
No,
was like,
spinner.
oh, women who
Spinner,
can't get
spinner.
married. Why are you calling them fat?
You know, I'm so-
Women who, did you say women who can't get married?
Yes, spinsters are women who can't get married.
I can get married if I want to.
no, but
I
you've been
don't
married,
want
so you're not
to.
a spinster. You know,
Leigh-Ann,
you just might be a cat
please.
lady, Leigh-Ann.
I like the way she was looking for a reason to get pissed off with me. Though. Did you see that? She was
Yeah.
like, "What did you say? Did you say
No,
women who can't
I
get
just-
married?"
I was protecting. I was protecting the spinsters.
You know what? We go back to what I spoke about earlier, this revolting trend of women growing body hair. And there's no excuse if you don't have to be a spinster.
You can grow your body hair, but maybe not show it off.
Don't do it. It's revolting. Elle, you have any comment to make on?
I don't generally go with naked women, so I wouldn't see it.
But come on, you still think it's probably not right.
It's a bit. I don't know. It's a
Come on.
bit German. It really is. I don't know. No, it's not for me.
All right. Okay. Very good. Well, you know what? That's all that we've got time for this morning.
I want to just say one thing. This is
Oh.
great. What a setup.
Thanks,
I'm
Elle.
so great to
It's
be here.
nice to have
I
you
did my
here.
hair. I'm not going to don't do my hair, but my hair looks lacquer.
No, it looks good.
Great. I just must remember my color schemes and
It's
keep
very
this in
good.
mind now.
As long as you're wearing green, you're fine.
This is really, really, really great. And so,
It's
and
nice to have you here.
congratulations to be on the Real Network and on the great stuff that you do. And Leigh-Ann, you're looking better than ever. Gareth, your birthday's in a month, turning 47. We're on our way to 50. Crazy. Life is
Are you
crazy.
trying to piss me off?
Yeah, I'm just trying to tell you, you're getting old. At least you're not fat.
I don't get pissed off about being older. I enjoy it.
Oh,
Yeah, now you can be a nudist.
Yes,
All
I'm
right.
ready.
yeah. We're all going to go to
I'm
the.
ready.
What do nudists do in winter?
They,
Do they shut down the?
no, they get heated pools and jacuzzis.
No,
I would imagine.
really. I've
And-
never.
And fireplaces.
Shame. Spare a thought for the nudists in winter.
Poor
Hey?
nude people in
You
winter.
know, I've never thought about that until this morning.
Yeah.
Like, who looks after the nudists in the winter? What do they do? Where do they run around with their tackle out if it's too cold?
No, you put fireplaces, and I don't. I'm not a nudist. So I wouldn't know. I'm not there, but I can get some for you if you want on the show. We
Yeah,
can do
let's
it.
get some.
I know a few.
Yeah. But they mustn't come in because I know what they look like. They're not
It
nice
doesn't-
looking people.
Actually, there are a few hot ones occasionally.
Nonsense.
Occasionally.
Nonsense. I've never met
But-
any nudist.
But
that
I am a
looked any
nudist
good.
in my bedroom. I can admit that. I like to be nude in
I
the
have no
bedroom
doubt,
and sleep without clothes on.
Oh
No
no.
doubt.
But there's too much stuff
All right.
going on. At,
You know
at
what? The
8
show
o'clock
should
in
have
the
finished 2 minutes ago. This is revolting. Okay, we will see you Wednesday morning, 6 a.m. Ciao.